Warriors have dreamed of having a playable stretch five for years, whether it was James Wiseman, Dario Saric, Jonas Jerebko, even DeMarcus Cousins. All of them suffered injuries or were simply unplayable because of poor system or defensive fits. Now enter Quinten Post. In last night's game against the Chicago Bulls, the Warriors' dream might have finally become a reality. Post hit 5 threes, 5 assists, and scored 20 points in a comfortable win. So is the long-awaited stretch five finally here? Let's review. Steph has always been a great pairing with a stretch five because of his ability to generate gravity in ball screens where Steph gets doubled, and because it adds dimensionality in what usually amounts to a roller that must either initiate an action, maybe on the short roll, or finish at the rim where the Warriors have struggled horribly. But Steph, with the stretch five like Post, can abuse his tendency to draw two off-ball screens and pop to find wide open shots. Now, Steph and the Warriors spammed high screens with Post all night last night. It's no surprise that off this high screen, both Levine and Vucevic are going to stay attached to Steph. Now, you combine this with placing any capable shooter in the weak side corner, like Andrew Wiggins in this case, and Post is going to have all the wide open threes he wants. In 5 years in college, he shot 38% from three, and over the last 2 seasons, he averaged 43% from three. Now, let's watch the Warriors run this again. This time, Post comes a little late, but gets a good clip on Jalen Smith and also manages to get a screen on Dosunmu. And of course, Steph draws both of them, and Post remains at the three-point line. He pops, and of course, that's another wide open three with this pretty late contest from Levine and Jalen Smith. And also notice in this play how Gui Santos was able to cut into wide open space. Another advantage of having a stretch five in the Warriors system is that the interior gets freed up because of Steph and the stretch five's three-point shooting threat, which enables people to crash the offensive boards or even cut and receive passes in space. And Post is a 7-footer with a 7'2" wingspan, so I think he would have been able to make that dish as well. Now, Post also had 5 assists last night, and something the Warriors really value in their big men is the ability to make great reads, whether in delay, post-ups, off screens. Here, the Warriors are going to initiate a classic split action. You can tell because of this post entry pass that Pods makes to Post in the post. Another clear signal of the split action is when this screen gets set at the elbow for another guard to run off of it. And from here, you have a few different options. The player receiving this screen, Schroeder, can shoot off the screen. The screener can pop to the three-point line. He can cut into the paint. He can even set another screen for another shooter. And then the post player can always keep the ball and take it to the rim. The options are just endless. And in this case, Post passes to Schroeder and slips into this open space as Schroeder gets doubled off of this action and gets the ball back. And now, as Lonzo Ball and Pat Williams come to double, notice that Post has 2 reads here. He can try and hit Moody for this three, or he can hit Wiggins for basically a guaranteed bucket at the rim. And maybe it's a simple read, but Post is able to reach around with this very long wingspan. Notice how he can't really even see where he's throwing, but because his arms are so long, he finds Wiggins for a wide open dunk. Now, the Warriors ran pick and pops all night with Quinten Post, whether it was Steph or not. Schroeder was particularly good at drawing 2 defenders with time, with a little bit of hesitation, and delivering passes on time as defenders stepped just a little bit too far away. And with Draymond missing a decent chunk of time, the Warriors have leaned on a lot of high ball screens to make up for that playmaking loss. But by adding a stretch five that can shoot, the Warriors can rely less on Draymond's short roll passing and a bit more dimensionality in their play. Now, to cap it off, I thought we'd take a little look at this super fun sidelines out of bounds play that the Warriors ran in the fourth with Post. Now let's start off with the defensive assignments. We first have Jalen Smith on Quinten Post. We have Phillips on Moody. We have Dosunmu on Schroeder as the inbounder, Josh Giddey on Gui Santos, and finally Zach LaVine on Steph Curry. Now, the initial concept of this action looks like Gui is going to come set this screen to free up Quinten Post to set another screen. So screening for the screener. And Gui can come around here and set this screen on LaVine, which traditionally, I mean, if you're thinking about what the Warriors usually do, would enable Steph to sprint up off of this screen and hit a wide open three, or potentially just straight back cut and get this pass from Dennis Schroeder. But instead, it's actually a decoy for Steph, who then comes to set this screen on Jalen Smith, who's trying to find Quinten Post, which frees up Post. Notice how Steph is occupying both Smith with that screen and LaVine, who's trying to stay attached. And now Post is just popping out to the three-point line for a wide open three, which he splashes. Now, by all accounts, Post may very well be the stretch five the Warriors have been looking for. He's a gifted shooter that makes great reads and ball screens, has seemingly identified how to take advantage of Steph and the Warriors system, and has the size the Warriors have needed. But the Warriors have had flashes of this before, and the issue is usually defense.
Good job with him working defensively. I think that was our biggest concern at the beginning of the season. Could he guard pick and roll? Could he get out on the perimeter, be up to the level of the screen, and still get back in the paint? You saw that tonight. He was flying around.
So as long as Quinten Post can maintain his stellar shooting and avoid becoming a defensive liability, the Warriors' wishes may have finally come true. Let us know if you agree. Thanks for watching.